Welcome to the Town of Newmarket podcast, Talk Newmarket VA. I'm Chris Rinker, Chief of Police. Also here today is
Amber Smoot, Events and Marketing Director for the Town of Newmarket.
And we brought Mr. Todd Walters back because we ran out of time last time, and Todd has some more information. Amber, do you want to get into your events that you have coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. We are busy with some events coming up. This weekend, May 22nd, we've got our first movie night in the park going on. It's going to be The Croods, A New Age, and it will start at sundown, so roughly 8:30, 8:45. So always get there early, bring chairs and blankets. It is free. And this one, so this year is a little bit different. We had some sponsors for some of our movies. And
nice.
I thought it was great. They reached out to me and some of the realtor agents for Coldwell Banker Premier got together and wanted to do something for the communities that they work for and work in. So they have sponsored this movie this weekend, and they will actually be there as well with some popcorn to hand out, which is something different because normally we don't have snacks and stuff available. We always encourage people to bring snacks and stuff for their viewing comfort and having fun. But they're going to be there this weekend as well. Like I said, at Newmarket Community Park, it is free, and we look forward to the rest of the movie season.
It's free because of the sponsor, but a lot of people may not know that it's not just going to Walmart and buying a DVD and throw it in your computer. You buy a license and...
Right, yeah. So this is, it's definitely not a just go to Walmart and get a movie. We do have to buy the rights to play the movie in the park. And so we do that. There's cost in that. But a few years ago, the town, we decided that we were going to get our own screen and our own projector. So we do own those things. Then that way it saves the town money in the long run because we own it. We're not having to rent those things all the time. And I can pretty much set up a movie whenever I want. So that's great.
And we use the stage to accommodate the screen.
Yes.
Which is helpful to, I think we've had that for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, probably about 3 years or so.
Yeah.
So we've extra use of the stage that we have. It's a great setup. I really enjoy it. I know lots of people have enjoyed it throughout the years. We started with one. I guess our first time ever, we had one movie, and then we started increasing it. We're up to 5. We do about one a month. And, so it's
always a
fantastic.
neat evening. You grab a blanket or a chair and hang out, wait for the sun to go down, and watch the movie. And now it'd be even better to have some popcorn. Who doesn't like a good movie and some popcorn?
With some popcorn. So they're definitely going to be there and have some while supplies last. Because it's free, we have no idea who's going to come. It just depends on the movie and people's schedules. So while supplies last, they will have some popcorn.
Well, if it's anything like the Easter egg hunt, you better be ready just in case.
Oh my gosh. That was, Well, hey, if we can have all those people come to movie night every single time, I would be absolutely thrilled. So definitely tell your friends and family and let them know that it's here. I mean, we enjoy having people come visit Newmarket and definitely adding that quality of life piece to our citizens here in the community, being able to offer this. So
good stuff.
Yeah. And then right after that, next weekend is Memorial Day weekend, and we are doing Jam and Foods Fest. There at the community park once again from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., and we will have food trucks. We have live entertainment. Josh Davidson's coming. He's going to start off the evening. Everyday People will start at 6:30, and they will end our evening with some great music. And we've got several food trucks lined up. We do have a beer and wine garden this year, and Muse Vineyards is coming out. They will be with us.
Nice.
So, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, and shopping vendors. For that shopping appetite that some may have, we have those as well.
Nice. What do you know who they're going to be? Is it
shopping vendors?
Yeah.
So we do have a paparazzi consultant, and I can't remember off the top of my head some of the others, but there are some people that have crafts. There are some people that have There's somebody that did something with some concrete, like these concrete flower planters. They're beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. So it's just a very eclectic mix.
Nice.
And then food trucks, we have Smoke and Q coming out. Backyard Gourmet, they're out of Waynesboro. And then we have Vittles, which is local to the area. They're coming. And JD Chowline. And Oh So Delicious with their funnel cakes. And some other yummy goodies. I'm sure it's like fried and, Southern fantastic. So they're coming too. And if there's any other food trucks out there that want to kind of chime in last minute, I have space. So
Good deal.
did I say it's free? Free, Free. Free admission. Come to the park.
You said Memorial Day. That reminded me that the Rebels will start shortly after that, the Valley League Baseball.
Yes.
I believe there's still have a few players that need housing. We talked about that last month. And then also the Shockers, the Newmarket Shockers will be starting about that same time frame. Speaking of Rebel Park, and Todd's here with us too, and Todd, you can chime in anytime, but the Rebels put a new fence up in last fall, I think was about last fall they started that and took some trees down. That view now from home plate is amazing. It really changed the appearance of that place.
Yeah, it did, and a couple of things happened. I mean, obviously the fence needed to be replaced, so that's a good thing. And then, yeah, those trees coming down and the view that you get now is pretty amazing.
And a shout out to the neighbor that bought the property beside that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
So wonderful.
He deserves some credit. We worked on that property for a long time, and then when Todd got here, we worked on it with some code violations, and the previous owner made an effort and did good, and then Mr. Champion, the owner now, what a completely different appearance, and painted the place and it looks super nice. But
Yeah, I'm not. We're not trying to push somebody's real estate, but I believe if you lived around here and if you've been to Rebel Park and you know what that property used to look like, and now you go by there and see what it looks like, it's been quite the transformation, and certainly has helped that end of the street. And yes, we appreciate those people that take these old properties and do stuff to them to make them better, or whatever it takes. I mean, we actually have 3 things going right now. Of course, the property here on Congress Street or Johnsonville Road that the town had purchased and have sold it, and now that's been cleaned up. The house is gone, and the logs were taken down one by one, so they're not just being destroyed, they're being saved. And actually the owner is thinking about how best to use those logs, and he's even thinking about maybe incorporating them into the new structure that he builds there, which would be really neat if he can make that happen. Then, of course, the property we're just talking about, there's a property on 211 that there was a house fire year and a half ago. That was also a property that we got a lot of calls about, had issues with, and now that's being remodeled, and actually the builder's adding on to it, and it's going to make another nice property. So I feel little by little we are being able to address some of these things that when I got here seemed to be a pretty big thing for this council to try to work on cleaning up some of the properties. And it's not anything that some people just can't help it. Some properties just fall into disrepair because of things that are out of people's control, and we certainly understand that. But I think it's been a good thing that we've been able to address some of these properties, and look forward to doing more.
And with that being said, we have ordinances regarding inoperable vehicles on your property, grass, trash, the nuisance ordinance, and
Animals.
Yeah, and animals. If you can just help us and getting behind on your grass, we do understand that, but if you can keep your property mowed and try to get DMV appointments, which is a struggle right now, to get tags on your vehicles and inspection, we would greatly appreciate that. One thing that I would like to just spend a few moments on is pedestrian safety again. Clicks Lane, we receive complaints of pedestrians walking out there all times of the day, even in the night. At this time, we don't have sidewalks out there, and it's not a lot of room to walk. But if you're going to walk, make sure you're walking towards traffic on the edge of the road, not two abreast or even three abreast, and wearing reflective clothing. There is out by the pond there, it gets dangerous because there's a little knoll that you can't see if there's someone walking there. So just be careful. And in town, use the pedestrian crosswalks and the intersections, and just pay attention to traffic.
And with that, Chris, I mean, we have received complaints, but I believe tomorrow, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but we have been in contact with VDOT and have met with VDOT about some of these issues. And tomorrow, I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow, if I'm not. One day this week, we'll be meeting with VDOT to discuss some of the things that they've looked at and maybe some draft recommendations on things that they can do to help with some of these situations. And so if we do get a complaint, it's not like we just toss it to the side. We do take them all seriously. We can't address everything, but we do try. But VDOT's been very cooperative here lately, meeting with us because of some of these things that's popped up over the last few months. But hopefully we'll be able to do some stuff to at least make it somewhat better. I'm not going to say we're going to be able to just snap our fingers and fix the issue, but hopefully we can make it better and then try to work on a long-term solution eventually.
We've been using the speed trailer for about the last month now. We'll continue to use that through the summer and fall. If there's speeding complaints, you can contact me and we'll take a look at it, put the speed trailer up. We're hoping to maybe acquire another speed sign in the future, the near future, hopefully. And then last week we kind of partnered with VDOT on that tree on North Congress Street that had messed the sidewalk up. It'd been there for a long time, caused a lot of problems. And VDOT got a contractor in to take that tree down, which is a huge help. And then we'll have to address the sidewalk.
Right, and we're hopefully can get on that fairly quick, and it may even require us putting up a little bit of a handrail there, just due to there's a little bit of a drop-off and a slope there, and if you would happen to slip off the edge of the sidewalk, unfortunately you'd be in the pavement because there's just not a lot of room there.
And in the roadway.
And in the roadway. And I kind of hit on this last time, I believe. There's been some tree removal going on here. That one, of course. We've had to take a couple down in the park here recently. And they were fairly large trees. I know people, they were near the big shelter near the bathrooms. People love to sit under them, especially during the hot summer days for shade and maybe eat your lunch there. But those trees
were dangerous.
They were dangerous. We had some limbs that was dangerous. And it just so happened, as tragic as it is, once we got those trees down, I believe a couple of weeks ago, the city of Harrisonburg lost an employee due to a limb falling on him from a tree. So we don't like to take trees down. That's not what we're about. But there are certain instances where those trees just have to come down because they're more of a hazard than they are a benefit. And I struggled taking those two down because I knew people would be upset, and probably, but I would be more upset if somebody sat under there and really got hurt. So sometimes those are the decisions we have to make, and We have put 2 new trees back. Now they're not nowhere near as big, but in time they'll be there.
I think the tree on North Congress Street was the exact same type of tree that was in the park. It was a mulberry tree, is what they were telling me. And I don't know if they got I don't know what you would call it, but they were all 3 were in the same condition.
Yeah, some sort of disease or something. Yep.
Amber, were you going to say something?
Yeah, there's actually 3 new trees in the park because the 2 that we replaced the 2 that we had to take out, but then we have the new dogwood from Arbor Day. So there's 3 new trees up there in the park.
And to continue on in the park, Public Works has put engineered wood fiber carpet down in the playground. Todd's getting tickled by that, but that's the name of the mulch for the playground. It's in the larger playground, and then as of last week, the toddler playground was completed. That stuff is super, super nice. There's no dirt.
Right. Whole lot cleaner. Hopefully people won't be dirty or as dirty when they leave or they take their kids away from the park, and especially those playgrounds. And I'll give credit where credit's due. I appreciate Chris. He sort of headed that up, finding the mulch. He and I had went to a couple different places separately when we were out and about and looked at what other people were using in their playgrounds, and actually what we got is being used in a couple different places locally, so it was a pretty easy decision, and appreciate your help there, Chris,
yes,
and appreciate Public Works getting it done, and we're not done yet. It's hopefully after July 1 new budget, we'll be able to complete the rest of the playgrounds and make them all with the same mulch. And the other thing about that mulch is hopefully it'll last a little bit longer. Won't have to replace it as much. So it is a little more expensive, of course, but if you don't have to replace it every year, that kind of works its way out.
We got 1 tractor trailer load in there. We're estimating that we're going to need 3 total, so 2 more after July. Hopefully we'll finish this off up there with all the playground swing set area.
Yeah. And that park is, we've taken trees down, we've planted trees, we've trimmed trees. All the roofs now have been replaced with metal roofs. The playgrounds, we're starting to work on the playgrounds. The pool, there's always stuff we can do at that pool. So
we just got the baby pool resurfaced.
Yep, the baby pool's been resurfaced. I'm not sure he's totally done yet, but that'll be done prior to the pool opening at the end of the month. And right now, I'm having some discussions with the Little League folks about working on our baseball and softball fields, doing some upgrades there, hopefully changing some of the infields to provide a little bit better surface and to allow for more play there. Our ultimate goal is to light those fields, and what that would help us do, we can still do it, and we're going to try to work on this too, but we would like to be able to host some tournaments at our park on those fields on the weekends, and that's just another way of bringing people into New Market. And the Little League has been on board, and they basically asked me if we were interested, and I said absolutely. So we're starting that process. I do not see us doing that this year. It may be before the next year's season, but hopefully we will have some changes and some improvements on our fields also.
We were talking about Public Works. They've been super busy with mowing, putting mulch down. If you have a chance, ride by and look at the town office, all the new flowers. Be patient, because it's going to take a month or so before Donna's magic outside here gets bigger, but it looks really nice, and the whole town does. They spread a lot of mulch, and it takes 3 or 4 of them 2 days, I think, to mow the whole town. They stay busy, and then water line repairs, sewer line repairs, which I think, Todd, you have a couple of those projects maybe coming up.
Yeah, we're working on one tonight or this afternoon. We felt like we had a water leak down here on Old Cross Road, water pumping up out of the ground. We did some investigation, and you can use what they call a listener, and you can hear if the water's running. And it appeared like we had a water leak, and then it all of a sudden dried up, and that makes you worry about where is that water going. Has it found another place to exit, which could have been multiple things. But so we're going to do a little more exploratory work tonight to see if we think we have a leak. It's very possible it could have been a spring just all of a sudden popped up and was running across the road. Seems a little odd to me especially when it happened, because it hadn't been very wet during those time frames. But we'll see. Hopefully it's not a leak. I mean, that's the best case scenario. But if it does, we certainly need to get it fixed. So probably tonight on Old Cross Road, I think he's going to try to start around 6 or so. It will be a little congested there. The road will be down to at least one lane, and just so we can have a contractor do a little exploratory work for us.
Speaking of rain, do you want to take just a second to talk about last Tuesday?
Yeah, so
So last Tuesday
was 2 weeks tomorrow, right? The big rain you're talking about? Yeah.
Whenever it was.
I think it'll be 2 weeks. Yeah, our days and weeks are flying by.
Last week or the week before, we, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, had just a downpour of rain for over an hour and a half probably.
Right.
We had different measurements, 4.5, 3.5, 3 inches in Newmarket. We had some roadways that were basically flooded.
Right.
And what we found is it's not something that happens all the time. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I don't know. Like Chris said, we had some people said some of the rain gauges was 4.5 inches, some of them was 3.5, some of them was 3, which I guess depending on where those gauges are, that certainly makes sense. But anywhere with 3.5 to 4.5 inches of rain in an hour or an hour and a half times, you're going to have issues. And we had some issues, and we did receive a lot of calls about, hey, I think the culvert's blocked, I think the culvert's stopped up. No, that's not the issue. Is the culvert just cannot take that much water. When you design a storm drain system, you're not designing, you design a system based on what they call the different type of storms, which is a 2-year, 5-year. I'm not going to get into all that. But anyway, so a lot of these culverts are based on a certain amount of rain over a period of time, and you just can't design stuff for the rains that we had that day, because your pipes would be so big and it'd be so expensive you just couldn't do it. But it was a lot of rain. You and I, Chris, you've been here all your life. I haven't, but we had people telling us, I've never seen water run there before. I've never seen water standing like there before. So it was a lot of rain, and hopefully we don't experience that anymore for another 5-10 years. But
we had
once it was done, it was gone. I mean, we did have some debris. Of course, you get a lot of debris that gets floated around, and it it did some damage to our park, especially our trail. But all in all, I think we got through it fairly well. And once it stopped and everything could catch back up, it went away. So.
And I know you appreciate them, but Public Works, 2 of those guys came out and helped with road signs and barricades. It was mostly on the south end of town is where we had the lane closures, and by the park or basically that stretched along the fire department there. But do appreciate the Public Works guys coming out to help. Todd, I know you have some notes over there from you didn't get to talk about last time, but if you want to get into.
Sure. I just thought I'd talk about a couple of things that we do have going on. That's what I consider pretty large, important projects. Of course, the first thing is our water improvement project. Been talking about that, I think, ever since I've been here. But Friday, or in the last couple of weeks, we did a request for proposals, which allows engineers to submit proposals. And Friday, we met we have a committee made up of town staff and some outside folks, and we all went through. We received 5 proposals. We went through all of them, read them all, and then you have to rate them. But we are down to being able to pick an engineer, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and that will start the design process for this project. So this project will consist of a new water tank and line replacement. So it'll be more than likely split into, it's going to be one project, but I can see it being bid as 2 separate projects, because more than likely we would be able to get the design done for the water replacement or the water line replacement prior to getting the tank site ready and design out for bid. So hopefully in the next few months we will be at a point that we can advertise for bid, get a contractor in here, and start working on some of these issues. It is going to be disruptive, especially with some of these lines that we're replacing, just by the fact of where they're located. So it will be a little disruptive probably in the next 12 to 18 months in the town of Newmarket, but unfortunately that's what you get when you have to do utility construction. So we are moving forward. It's been a long time, it seems like, since I've been here that we've been working on this, but as we all know, government, it takes time to do certain things, but we're inching ourselves closer and closer. If you hadn't noticed, VDOT has been working out here on John Sevier in front of the town office here. There's some drainage issues with the water running down the road, and they've done some work there. It's helped. They've actually got a couple more things they're going to do to try to make it even better. So that's been a good thing, and it has helped. We don't have the water running across the intersection at John Sevier and Old Cross Road anymore. We are in the budget. We are finishing up our budget. We do have a public hearing tonight at our council meeting on our budget. And then after tonight, the council can't vote on approving the budget until next Monday. But if nothing changes, we'll have a budget in place next Monday for starting on July 1. Budget's $8.6 million this year. That's about 11% higher than last year's. But with that, $4 million of that is due to our water improvement project. So that kind of skews that number a little bit, especially on the water and sewer side, just because of that project being so big. If people don't know, there is funding coming to the town of Newmarket. There is funding coming to every city, town, and county in the United States, and that's through the last bill that was passed that the president signed. Right now, we don't know exactly what we're getting, and we don't know exactly how we can spend it. There is some guidance out there, but right now, it appears like the town of Newmarket will be receiving roughly $2 million over a period of a couple of years. You don't get it all at one time. It's going to be split into 2 payments. But it does, based on the information out there right now, that's what we will receive. The issue is what you can spend it on and how you have to spend it, and that is really not clear yet. I did receive a document last week. I think it's 151 pages. I haven't read it yet, obviously, because I had some other stuff we had to do last week. But
Well, shame on you.
I know. I wanted to do it this weekend, but just couldn't work it in. So hopefully starting tomorrow I'll be able to dig into that a little bit more. And then council and I, once we are a little clearer on what we're getting, when we're getting it, and what we can spend it on, of course council will come together and just discuss on how we want to proceed. Right now it looks like you just can't spend it on anything, that it's got to be somewhat COVID related, and but there is something in there for water sewer improvements, so we'll just have to see how all that ties in. But, it's a good thing to be receiving this money, but we'll just have to see how we have to spend it. The other thing is, thank God, as of Friday, if you're fully vaccinated, the masks are gone. The way I understand it is by the end of this month, most of the restrictions will be lifted, which helps everybody, and it helps Amber even more on her events, all the events we have planned. It will eliminate, hopefully, some stuff that we would have had to have done that we won't have to do now if the restrictions are fully lifted. I believe we're getting back to normal, as close to normal as we can be, and so hopefully this summer will be whatever that normal is going to be now. And I know everybody's looking forward to that, including me. The other thing, I guess, is I do want to make reference to last week was Police Week. I appreciate Chief Rinker and our officers for all that they do and what they do to keep us safe. And it's another one of those things sometimes I think we think about it, but then again we really don't think about these guys. And so I just want to tell them again how much I appreciate them, all they do for us, and the jobs that they do for us.
We appreciate that. And you.
And I believe Saturday or the 15th was Police Memorial Day or something like that for all the fallen officers. And it's a tough job, and it's a job that I don't want to get on the sad downside of it, but unfortunately that is the reality of that job, that sometimes bad things happen. And I've been directly affected by that. I'm a pretty private person, and I don't talk about a lot of stuff, but I've been affected by that. And so police officers have a pretty special place in my heart, and I guess that's why I appreciate what they do so much. Is I know the sacrifices that they have to make, and some of them really make a ultimate sacrifice, and I hope that never happens here. And with that,
he likes the other town employees too, though, Amber.
Yeah. I don't want to. No, it's just not about the police department. I do like some of those other town employees. I didn't say Amber though, did I?
What? You like me?
I do like you, and
I'm your office neighbor.
Yeah, and we do. We have a wonderful staff here, and I've told them before, and I'll tell everybody out there. What happens here is not anything I do or anything council does. It's really what the employees do, and I appreciate them. I appreciate the work they do. They do a lot of stuff that either is not in their job description or that they really don't have to do, and they do it because they care and they want to get it done. And that means a lot, especially in a small town where you don't have a lot of staff. And, when I got here, I'm an outsider. I know it was scary for the employees. I'd be scared myself. And, they accepted me in my ways, which a lot of people just cannot do that. No, it's fine. But really, I mean, my job has been a whole lot easier knowing that I had support, and those employees supported me, and they accepted the way that I manage and the way I feel like things should be. And I told them in the beginning, if that didn't happen, this wasn't going to work. And that's the truth. And I think that's not only here, that's anywhere, that, everybody's got to be on the same page. This is not about Todd. This is not about the mayor and the town council. This is about the town, and we're all a team, and we're all pulling together in the same direction. And when you do that, it sure does make life easier, and it makes your job easier. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
We appreciate you and your vision for Newmarket and your support for staff. And I'm not just saying about the PD, but the whole town and the support. We very much appreciate you. Just real quick for me on the PD, the frauds of the phone scams seem to have picked up the last few weeks. If it sounds too good to be true, it's not true. Hang up. You're not gonna get the $500,000 for sending in money orders. The most recent one is someone filed an application online, and part of it was a marketing job, and they were gonna get to put some decals on their car for advertisement. They received about $4,000 in checks deposited in their account, and then they needed to send the Western Union that money to another state. Be cautious about that. These folks are scheming you, and they're all fraud. So just be careful. If it sounds too good to be true, it's not true. And then the last thing I talked about last month, and maybe the first podcast, that the PD got some new cars. Part of that was through USDA funding. We actually have all those cars here now. The last car will be going to the radio shop at the end of the month. You're going to see some cars that don't have decals on it. I promise you that they're going to have them. Just trying times right now, getting equipment, getting decals and such. But within, hopefully by then, I would like to think middle of June, we have that wrapped up. But Amber?
So going back to your scammers, so on the marketing side and event side, there are scammers on the Facebook front as well, and Instagram. What they're doing is they're creating pages that look similar to some of our businesses. It's happened to the Home Store. It's happened to John Henry several different times. And what they're doing is... And
Southern Kitchen. I think Southern Kitchen got hit over the weekend.
And what happens is they're going to go in there and they're going to say it's some kind of giveaway, and you need to give them your email address or things of that nature. Things that you can look for on Facebook is spelling. So really pay attention to those places that you love, okay, like Southern Kitchen, John Henry. Did you know John is not spelled with an H? So if you see a John Henry General Store account and it's spelled John, that is wrong. A lot of times they'll put a period somewhere that it shouldn't be. So it's those little nuances that is easy to escape the eye. You won't really see it because you'll see the photo and be like, oh yeah, I know that place. So be very careful and cautious. Our businesses here love you all. They love their customers, and they are doing some amazing things with giveaways and prizes and really trying to reach out to the community. And these scammers are coming in and just being like, oh, well, I'm going to take advantage of their love for their community. So we just be cautious of that. If for some reason you see those things, let the business owner know so that way they can try and combat that. I know here for Newmarket, we've been getting people that comment on our events, and they'll say, there's vendor space available. Please email me your, or please PM me your email address. That's not how that works. I mean, movie nights. I don't have vendors at movie nights. That's never been a thing. So be very cautious with those type of comments and events.
Yeah, good.
So just beware. It's becoming more prevalent, especially now that things are opening up and everybody's just so excited. It's very easy to wave caution.
Yeah. And with the downtown businesses, please visit those shops, restaurants. They need your business. They want your business. And you can get a lot of neat things in Newmarket, from a cup of coffee to a couch to
special made shirts.
Yeah.
And like it's pretty amazing. And there's something that is not out just yet. It will go out this week. Is that the Merchants Committee with the Chamber, they always do a raffle where if you shop local, you can put your receipt in to a drawing. So we are going to do some early bird drawings for June, and they will be there will be 4 different $25 gifts, food vouchers for Jammin' Foods Fest.
Wow.
And that is sponsored by an anonymous donor who loves the town of Newmarket and wants to drive small business incentives. So shop local, and you give your receipt to either the Chamber, Home Store. I know John Henry, Valley Sports Connection. Several of them have buckets that you can put your receipt in with your name and your number, and you can get in on those drawings monthly. But we have a special one for Jammin' Foods Fest.
And then the first Saturday of the month, is that?
Yep, first Saturday of every month from now until through December is open market, where it's just open air market from 9 to 2 right there by SunTrust.
And then on Fridays is the farmers market. It's in the
Yep.
public parking lot, kind of behind Jalisco's. They're every Friday afternoon.
Yep, 11 to 4. I know they're always looking for more vendors, so if you have any type of wonderful home baked goods, I'm not really sure all the requirements, but that would definitely look on their Facebook page and reach out to them.
So they have a Facebook page.
They do have a Facebook page. Yep.
Nice. Do you have anything else?
Just getting ready for all these wonderful events, and then Crossroads will be coming up, 7th annual.
7 years.
7 years
Wow.
of doing Crossroads, and so all these upgrades to Rebel Park is going to make that even more beautiful too. So
For
I'm
sure.
looking forward to it. So
When's the
everybody
first
come out.
Crossroads?
June 11th
June 11th.
with
Perfect.
Thieves of Burden.
Perfect. And you have food trucks for those too,
Yep.
or hopefully.
Yes.
With COVID, I think that's kind of slowed the food truck business down a little bit, maybe. But they're opening back up.
Yes and no. Some were hesitant to do events. They might do smaller venues. So that's been a little bit of a struggle. Some have just sold their food trucks because, they were concerned, health and safety concerns for them and their family, which is totally understandable. So, some of them, like Pigs with Wings, aren't with us anymore, and that makes me really sad. So if they're ever listening, I miss you already.
And the taco truck.
And the taco truck, it was Iguana Taco and Taco Patone. I don't remember which one it ended on. But
or the taco trailer.
Yeah. So there have been some that have folded, but there have been some new ones that are coming about. So like Vittles and others. So.
Okay. So we're going to wrap it up. Please like all of the town's social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also have a YouTube page we stream council meetings on and special work sessions on. The podcast is on YouTube now, but please visit all those. Amber's text and email alerts if you haven't signed up for that. How do you do that, Amber? Besides emailing you, or can you get to that on the website?
Yep, you can get to that on the website. It should be under announcements on the website. And then you can always look on our Facebook page. There's a place there for that. And then the e-newsletters, the information's on that as well.
Okay. Todd, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, and thanks for listening to Talk Newmarket VA. Share the YouTube link, podcast, and all of our other pages. Thank you.